Now, a lot of people tend to have nice, beautiful memories with their parents, and more specifically, their mothers. Everyone, I feel like Mother's Day is usually a huge semblance of how much people love their mothers. Yes, there are some dreary stories here and there about bad moms, but the majority of the stories, I think, 9 out of 10 times are usually happier stories, are usually memories, beautiful, beautiful memories shared between you and your mom, especially between women. When you get to that age of 16, ukishaingia teenage years, the love of your life is officially your mother. You tell her everything, she tells you everything. It's a very tight, close-knit relationship. But Nyako didn't manage to get that experience with her mother because, unfortunately, something interesting happened. She says that she went to boarding school for most of her life, and by the time she was done with boarding school, or she was nearly done with boarding school, her mom had already passed on. And you would think it would be an ailment that would have caused that we all assume, for example, the cancers of this world and other more common diseases that older people get. But in this case, it's actually HIV AIDS. The mom passed on from HIV AIDS, and she didn't really get to have an experience with her mom. And in fact, she goes so far as to tell us about how she often tries to go and sit near her mom's resting place so that she can be able to experience her mom in a different way. And I think this is such a beautiful story about necessarily not having a relationship with your parents, but making the best out of what you can do now, because you can still make memories even though they're not here. She says in her story, I am chilling with my mom. I like sitting here because it is my mom. I love the most. Namfeel Sana, she left me so early. She should have stayed a bit. I never shared my moment or any moment with my mom. I was raised in boarding school my whole life, and when I finished, she was dead. So I don't have any special memories of my mother. Yeah, that is how it is. She says, both my parents died of HIV and AIDS, and both my sisters died of HIV and AIDS. Yeah, these days hizo siku hakuwa na dawa. One of my sisters died when she was only 1, and the virus was too much for her, so she died a really painful death. One died when she was only one died when she was only when she was only 1. The second died when she was 12. Huyo alikufa kama kuna dawa. There was already medication, lakini dawa ilienda ikamlemea, cause kidney failure, and later she died. Madawa ilimlemea. And this is such a heavy story, because if you really think about it, you lost your parents, who are the next best people to be part of your life and to give you all those lessons. It's your siblings. Imagine losing your sister at the age of 1, and then the other one is alive, she's okay, but she gets medication, and you think this is the solution, and unfortunately she too succumbs. It's such a heavy story to even think about. 12 years old and 1-year-old are really young, and also having lost her parents when she was young, it's very tragic. But we're happy that she somehow managed, because a lot of people end up, you're alone. You feel so lonely. Many things can go into your mind and spiral, and you also have your way of saying, let me also join them. So Nyako is one of those stories that I think is a huge place to look at if you're going through a tough time. If you don't have parents, if you don't have people around you that can be supportive, imagine Nyako made it through, and so can you. Yes, it was a difficult life for her as well, because let's not forget she was a woman of the night, and that explains a lot. I mean, her story has sort of been explained a lot to me just from listening to those little words that she has said. And what a sad story, a sad story. Losing a parent.
Whenever I come across somebody whose personality can only be described as interesting, you look at somebody, you're like, wow, what happened to you? Because you're clearly overcompensating from something. I just reserve my judgment. I try very hard not to say anything, not to think anything, because clearly something is going on under all of these things you're doing. You can just tell, you know, and people think, she's just like that, she's just very happy, she's very outgoing. But if you take a closer look, you're like, yeah, something clearly is going on. But, you know, I hope she does get the help she needs. You know, it's a lot dealing with all of those losses. I even had somebody try to explain burying all your family members while in your 30s and your 40s, and how hard and difficult it is for you. Some people just go as far as not even being commitment people because of the fear of loss. They may not say it, but a part of them is like, what happens? What happens if you die? You know, something could happen. I'm just waiting for the next shoe to drop. So it's a lot for them, and I sympathize and I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, if you are struggling with the loss of a loved one, a family member, we are truly hoping that you feel better and that you get to a place of peace, because it takes a long time, but you will find your moment. You will see light at some point. Just keep pushing through. If you need someone to talk to, you can always hit us up on our DMs. And if you need specialized treatment or you need to speak to a professional, there are so many places you can go nowadays. So you're not alone. Just remember that you're not alone.
Okay.